Okay, this is my second time filming this because my video camera died, so we're going for the good old iPhone right now. Okay, so this is Medusa and welcome to my season 2 of the Order review stroke discussion. So warning for now, this will be filled with spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, switch off. Or you're still on it, just switch off completely because I'm going to spoil everything. I'll start off with the things that, well, okay, first of all, I just finished watching it and I'm just thinking, oh my god, what did I just watch? There's some, like, I'll go through the things I loved about it because there was loads of things that I really loved. And then I'll go through some things that I just was so confused about or just thought, what? First of all, I loved the way, I thought, well, first of all, the actors are all brilliant in it. I think the cameo from Finn from Sharknado was fantastic and I appreciate it. After just finishing watching them, it was great to see him again. I loved the humour. It was always, you know, very funny, and because it isn't really quite like just a fantasy show. It's more of a fantasy comedy with some aspects of horror, I guess, because you can kind of get that from the fact that you know, most of the characters react to finding about magic and werewolves and all that stuff by just going, "That's cool." Just sort of thing. It wouldn't be, it's not really classified as the kind of mind-blowing thing that it would be in reality. So for that reason, it's kind of, and all the jokes, it's kind of a bit of a comedy. But it's also very much drama and fantasy. But like this, okay, there's a couple, okay, I also really loved the way they did the storyline with the memory loss from last season, because and it ended on the cliffhanger of Alyssa basically mind wiping Jack and then like other people mind wiping the werewolves, and then they don't remember who any of them are or the Order or anything like that. And it was dealt really well, I think. I think in the first episode they find out they remember everything and they're kind of out for revenge. So I really enjoyed how they did that, and it wasn't just dragged on for episode after episode with them kind of half knowing what's going on. It was a really well done plot in my opinion. I'm going to go into things like with characters now. I'm going to go through every single character kind of in chronological of what happens in the series. So first of all, you've got Alyssa, who obviously was kind of, you know, I like the explanation they gave because it didn't just mean she was just blindly following orders. She was doing it in her way to try and protect them all and Jack from getting killed by the Order stroke Vera. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, I feel like they had obviously a right to be angry, but I feel like, you know, and it's understandable why they were angry at Alyssa, but she did save them. So yeah, I mean, they obviously don't, they kind of, well, Jack forgives her really quickly. So does Lilith, I'm pretty sure. And guess Randall too. She has no scenes with Hamish, the other guy, but yeah, up until later. I thought that it was done pretty well in those first couple episodes. I liked the fact that as soon as Jack remembers everything, he's just like straight, he wants to kill Alyssa so bad. It's like, wow. It was quite good. I actually quite enjoyed the kind of anger, because you know he's not gonna really kill her, but he's kind of, werewolf side is kind of like betrayed me sort of thing. What else? So you get Lilith, she's in a new relationship with Nicole, and I think that was a really nice relationship actually. I really enjoyed it. They're all just kind of they're all, so obviously they've all got their memory back and they're all kind of just joining the Order as like in secret to try and destroy it. Basically like what Jack was doing in season 1, but they're all now doing it and pretending they don't know who they are. So it is a similar story, but it's very different, so it keeps it fresh and interesting. What happens next? Gosh, the middle bit is a bit of a blur, to be honest. Yeah, Alyssa's losing her magic. Jack and Alyssa are kind of together, but they also kind of split up, but that kind of happens over like a multiple series of episodes. Randall and Gabrielle, they get together, and Hamish and Vera get together. So it's all very kind of ship related this season. But there are some issues I have with basically all the characters and how they were written. So I'm kind of, okay, I'll go on to Vera. I like Vera and I love the actress, I think she's brilliant. But Vera, she's like, I like her, but I also don't like her, and it's really confusing because, like, she has a great sense of style. She's obviously very, you know, funny. She's very, you know, glamorous and beautiful and stuff, but she's not a very good person when you really sit and think about it, because she does kind of force Alyssa to kind of mind wipe her boyfriend and his friends so that they don't kill them, which isn't very nice, to be honest. And then she kind of also, she just, I don't know, she just doesn't seem like the type of leader. Like, the thing is with Vera, it's like, I know that, you know, it's supposed to be, we all want her to be Grand Magnus, or whatever it's called, but like, I don't really feel like there should be an order. They're kind of all really corrupt, to be honest, and I know you're supposed to kind of think that, but the way that they kind of, I think, you know, Jack said it the same way, that, you know, it could be used for good or bad sort of thing, but it feels really bad the way they operate. It just feels so uncomfortably kind of evil and cult-like. I suppose it technically is. But yeah, I don't understand why some of the characters behave the way they did. I also don't understand why Vera just genuinely hates Alyssa. Right, about Alyssa, I have no idea why, but she's my favourite character. I don't know why. I sometimes think, oh god, Alyssa, not again, what are you doing? Alyssa, what are you doing? But I do strangely really like her, and I think she's, obviously the actress is great, but I strangely really think she's a great character, and I don't quite know why, but she's my favourite. Yeah, I don't really know why at all, to be honest. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not that happy about the way things really turned out. First of all, Vera's hatred, or like almost seemingly disgusted Alyssa from the very start. You know, her kind of being a bit dismissive of her, you know, her powers, her feelings, felt very weird. And like, I get if they have like a rivalry, but it seems like she really saw her as like you know, as her mentor, and it feels so kind of, and you know, she was pretty devoted, like she was a devoted, you know, loyal member, and she did kind of treat her badly, so I did feel a bit, you know, I started to kind of like Vera a bit less. Like, obviously, you don't have to, you know, she's a leader, she doesn't have to be all just nice and kind to everybody, but you have to kind of show people a bit of respect, and I don't feel like she did. I also, oh, what was the other thing that, yeah, also when Alyssa's powers start to fade, what's she called? Vera, yeah, Vera knows why, and she doesn't say anything. She also is the reason why her power is fading. She still has that evil book, or whatever it's called, from the last season when people were trying to get killed and all that. And Alyssa's lost all her powers, and basically, and they're all not working. She accidentally murdered somebody because of it. And you do kind of get this impression that that has really upset Alyssa, because she didn't intend to kill someone, even though they were a bad person or whatever. She didn't want to kill them, and she did because her powers were on the fritz, because Vera lied about the book and kept it hidden. And we still don't really know why. And yeah, that seemed it's not good. I feel like so horrible, really. I mean, especially since she'd been so loyal and kind. I feel like I don't get, like, I kind of get, like, they don't explain how magic is important to them really very well, and they don't explain why it's so important to Alyssa. But if you kind of have the assumption that it's something that gives her life meaning, it does kind of seem really horrible that Vera kind of kept that from her. And then also kind of hypocritical when Alyssa took away Vera's magic, and she was so angry and upset when she did the exact same thing to her. Like, it didn't seem very fair. Also, like, Hamish was so I can understand why in some ways they'd get together with he'd get together with Vera, but the way they did it didn't make any sense at all. Especially since she just kind of, I think they always forget about the fact that Vera was going to kill them if they didn't get their mind wiped. So they just completely forget that. They also completely forget that kind of, she kind of knew how to get Lilith out, who is my second favourite character, I think. I love Lilith, she's great too. And like, it feels so shady, and like they're hiding I mean, I get that they're like a secret society, but they do hide a lot of useful information that would really help the characters, and I suppose that's the point, but at the same time, you know, Hamish and Vera were, you know, together, and it seemed just really, like, unrealistic the way it happened. Not them getting together was unrealistic, but the way that it happened, they were just kind of, I like you, you make a good cocktail, let's get together. It just seemed so strange to me, and I just don't get it at all. What else? I mean, this is a bit of a jumble video, so I do apologise. I'm doing my best, but, you know, it's going to be crazy. Let's talk about Jack, right? He was really angry at the beginning. He then kind of, you know, gets on and off again relationship with Alyssa. And then he kind of sides with not getting revenge. And can we talk about how Alyssa and Salvador kind of just randomly struck up this friendship? I mean, I like the scenes when they were in that house together, but I feel like the show didn't do a really good job of explaining Alyssa's motives, other than that she was mad at Vera. And I didn't get why Vera was so damn reluctant, that's the word, to give Alyssa the spell if she knew it wouldn't work and it would just kill her. Because she seems to really hate her, like unnaturally hate her. So why would she care if she did that and killed herself? Because she didn't seem very bothered at the end, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I don't understand why she wouldn't just give her something that she knew wouldn't work, if the cost was only her own life. Like, obviously, I would understand if she had some liking for Alyssa, and obviously I don't think that it would be nice if she still gave it to her, but it didn't seem like it came from a place of concern, like it should have really done, or a place of hatred, like it was led to believe. It just seemed just petty, really. The reason why, I mean, I kind of at the end of it was just like, yeah, just take down the order. Just take them down. I like Randall, I like Lilith, and I like Jack. But Hamish, he was so willing to just go and kill Alyssa because she took the magic from Vera, who he's sort of semi-dating, even though Alyssa, regardless of, you know, whether she did she did was right or wrong, is Jack's girlfriend, who is his best friend and fellow knight. There seem to be so many kind of contradictions to everyone's friendships and loyalties. Alyssa also kind of wasn't really the bad guy, I don't think. I don't understand why the Wolf Midnight wanted to get rid of her. I don't understand why Vera hated her. I don't really understand why Hamish was so defensive of Vera just because they were dating. Like, does that make you, like, even she tried to kill them multiple times and she was still betraying them technically. So I don't get why this unwavering loyalty to Vera, like where that stemmed for Hamish and in many ways Jack. I also don't, none of it makes sense really, and their motivations and let's talk about the ending. So Alyssa decides not to kill Vera, because, well, I mean, we all saw that coming, really, because she's not really that type of person. She also decided, she decided to kind of open up a giant, like, kind of killer wormhole that was going to, like, destroy the, like, planet if Vera didn't do what she wanted. Obviously, Vera was still very reluctant to do it, because she just, for some reason, just loves this spell. She doesn't want to get rid of it, even though it would do the thing that she kind of technically is supposed to want, like, it would kill Alyssa and not work. So I don't understand that. But anyway, Jack tells her not to go for revenge, and she doesn't, and she goes to leave. She doesn't give Vera her powers back, which is all really Vera's interested in. Vera makes some snarky comment or something, I don't know. Then basically Jack warns her that the Midnight, the other wolf that used to be inside Jack, is wanting to kill her for some reason, because it views her as the enemy, even though there's like tons of other witches and whatever nearby or whatever. Anyway, again, I don't know why if it spared Silverback, it would go immediately for Alyssa and Vera, but you know, I don't know what wolves think. So yeah, she just steps out and she just gets completely killed. And I was just sitting there like, oh, you just killed my favourite character. Oh god. Oh, not again. This always happens to me. My favourite character always dies. So Jack's sad. Then he, like, the end shot is him walking into the woods with her dead body. So he's probably going to bury her, and then we're not going to have Alyssa on the show anymore. So I'm not happy with that. Alyssa's my favourite, and I hope if they do a season 3, and I hope they do, they bring her back. Because she didn't deserve that at all. And yeah, maybe her plan with Salvador, who was kind of crazy as well. Salvador was like kind of nuts. I kind of liked her in a weird way. I didn't like the professor. He was a weird, like, culty kind of creepy guy with a weird kind of anarchist kind of belief. Like, he's like almost like the people from like the Purge. But yeah, I didn't like him at all. But weirdly, I kind of liked Salvador. Even though she's probably quite problematic, as people like to say. However, like I said, I don't understand why her and Alyssa came up with such a strong, powerful, meaningful friendship so quickly. I don't understand why Vera didn't tell Alyssa that she could get her powers back or help her when she needed to. I don't understand why Vera was so cruel about the fact that she lost her powers, even though it had absolutely nothing to do with her. It was the fact that she herself had kept the book that they were supposed to destroy, and she was bound to. So they didn't even explain why that happened. Also, like, why? Like, why? Because in the end, Vera still doesn't have her magic, it's assumed, because the Hamish, whatever he called, he just like closed the door on her. So Alyssa's dead, but her magic remains. But I thought Hamish, maybe Alyssa isn't dead, or maybe she's gonna go turn into a werewolf, because they said that champion one's still about. Is Alyssa gonna become a werewolf? I mean, I'll take it, anything to bring her back, to be honest. I just feel like it was just so frustrating, the whole thing. I mean, maybe just because I watched it all in one day and my mind's kind of like crazy, and I'm just kind of gone stir crazy in the house just watching one show for like 10 hours. But I mean, ultimately it was entertaining, but it was probably one of the most frustratingly entertaining shows I've seen in a long time, because nobody, it feels like it's almost like a writing club. The characters don't seem fleshed out. Like, their motivations are never really that clear. I don't get why, I get why Alyssa was upset about her powers being taken away, but I don't understand why she would go to such lengths to make sure that magic was for everyone. Because, to be fair, if they'd fleshed it out more, I could have understood it. Because, ultimately, the Order, aka the giant cult, are keeping this power secret for whatever reason that could potentially save people's lives. Well, actually do save people's lives. Could, you know, stop kids from getting sick, stop people from dying, you know what I mean? So, you know, they were curing cancers and stuff like that. So, like, I can kind of get why you would want to share that with the world. I don't get why that power was so kind of, they didn't even really, I mean, they explained that, you know, people who didn't do it well would cause that giant wormhole thing, like a magic wormhole, and they would destroy the whole world and cause an apocalypse. But they didn't explain what would happen if you actually did it right. So, would that still happen? I don't think it would. So, really, she kept a useful thing for the humanity or the whole planet to themselves. So I can kind of in some ways understand Alyssa and Salvador's motivations, but like they weren't fleshed out at all. So this is all kind of speculation, but I feel like that's the most plausible solution. Also, I think Alyssa's probably suffering a little PTSD from having the other guy in charge who was genuinely evil. And I feel like basically to blame for all of this, ultimately, is Vera. Really. I mean, I think she was the only real enemy, I think, in this, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jack's done some bad things, Alyssa's done some very questionable things, the werewolves, especially at the end with Randall killing that person, I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like she was the one that, you know, she was the one that was probably the least good of a person, and the one, you know, out of everyone to sacrifice for Lilith, yeah, sure, but the way he did it, he literally ripped her from taking her nephew home, and from the looks of it, he's just sitting there waiting for his aunt to come back, and I feel like if there's a way to kidnap someone and to kill them, maybe that wasn't the best way. I mean, you know, it just felt a bit, not really out of character, but just a bit unnecessary to do it in that way. Basically, I was just frustrated with everyone. I feel like really liked Hamish in the first season, and I liked him about halfway through this, but then he just went really pathetic, in my opinion. And I don't like not liking Hamish, but just in the second half, he was just so pathetic, and he just did whatever he was told to. And then, like, okay, first of all, the whole Vera thing, Vera killing that bloke so that she gets that, like, power, that Imperium, whatever, magical power over anything, you know, that she wants to commit basically magical genocide with. The way she did it, and if she really thought it was an essential sacrifice, yeah, sure, you know, I can kind of understand the morally grey area of her trying to save the world and no one believes her, so she stages something. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm also not saying that it was necessarily strategically the worst decision possible. And I get why Hamish would agree with that. But still, it felt very unnecessary to have him go through and find that device for him to just completely blindly agree with it. Like, it would have made more sense if someone else had done that and then they were annoyed at it. But him discovering the secret to only then just say, yep, that's fine, totally cool, basically. It was a bit pathetic. It was just genuinely kind of pathetic. I mean, I don't mind if you agreed with her, but I felt like the whole storyline with him trying to like solve it was just ridiculous, like pointless. I also really hope Alyssa's not dead. I know I've said this like 10 times, but I just think that, like, if she is genuinely dead and she's not going to be on anymore, I don't think I'm going to watch it. Because I actually really like Jack and her relationship. I thought they were, like, I think they're the only relationship, really, other than the kind of friendship between the werewolves, that's actually fleshed out. And not realistic, because it's like magic. You get like why it would happen, and it happened quite naturally in the kind of progression. And I like them together. But God, if they do make a season 3, can they just stop doing the Ross and Rachel thing? It worked in Friends, but it doesn't work in this, because they get together for 5 minutes, they split up because they get angry with each other, and that would be okay if there was actually proper things to be angry about. But half the time it's just stupid things that it seems that they want to make angst, but they don't actually go for the, you know, they just kind of give superficial angst for things that are kind of easily forgivable or easy to kind of understand. He also then memory wipes her, which is exactly what he did, which is exactly what she did to him. She wasn't that mad about that, even though, like, he was really mad at her. So I don't get why anyone really did anything. And I don't get why we're supposed to still think kind of technically that the Order are the good guys, because they're really not. And after this, and like, you know, the Knights of St. Christopher or whatever, you know, they're kind of still killers too. And I don't really, like, I feel like, you know, they're werewolves, so it's not really, you can kind of forgive some of it, I suppose, because it's not really their fault. But like, I don't know, I just feel really like frustrated, and I feel really angry that they killed off Alyssa. I know I'm going to keep on going on about it, but I just feel angry. Like, why? What was the point? She was she was my favourite character. Maybe she wasn't the best character in the universe because, you know, compared to other shows, but she was genuinely my favourite character, and I weirdly and bizarrely really liked her. So, and I liked her relationship with Jack, so I'm really sad, really. And also Vera's reaction was, why did Alyssa not give her back her power, or could she not? Because that was like some severe kind of determination of Alyssa, even when she was dying, not to save herself, which I respect, but also just save yourself, jings. And if she is dead, then wouldn't the power go back? Because Hamish said he'd go rip out Alyssa's heart, which kind of strangely he said, I'm like, really, you're gonna be that type of person? But it was just pointless. All of it was pointless. Oh my God, it came to... Yeah, like, he was they were in that room, the ye, abandon all hope ye who enter, and he saw Alyssa die, but it wasn't, but he killed her, but he didn't kill her, so the prophecy comes true, but not necessarily the same thing. And why was Jack carrying Alyssa's body into the woods? to bury her? I mean, why didn't they get their own magic to save her? Is she actually dead? I hope she's not, because I'll be so freaking pissed off if she's dead. And again, I won't watch season 3 if she's dead, because I just cannot deal with... I can't deal with that. I think they should do season 3 of go into more of the relationships between the characters, and not just romantic. They need to get into Vera and Alyssa, if pray to God she's still alive, and just all of their relationships, and kind of flesh them out more. And also just flesh out the characters' motivations. Because the way I still see it, the Order is pretty bad. It's a cult which lures people in who feel like they've got nothing else going for them other than magic, convince them to do bad things, takes their memories if they're not good for it, kills them if they don't follow rules. The werewolves, as much as I like them, they kill people, and they kind of are morally questionable. And like with Lilith and like Randall and even Jack it works, but for Hamish it doesn't. And it just, his whole switching on the Knights of St. Christopher so quickly, it was, I had a lot of respect for Randall, because he stuck to his, like, he stuck to what he believed in. But freaking Hamish didn't. Like, he didn't at all. And I just feel like it could have been done so much better, all of this, and I just, oh, it's frustrating. Oh god. None of it makes any sense. Like, literally. And I get, like, I know it's not going to be like a masterpiece, because like it's like a Netflix show for teens. It's like, teens and young adults, it's like, but damn, like I feel like there was so much they could have done, and it kind of frustrates me that they didn't, and I just hope they do. Because you get, like, I think they really want a season 3, because I've got hints about, Vera having a really tragic past, and part of me thought like that was connected to Alyssa in some way. She was, I don't know, maybe her long lost daughter or something, which wouldn't make sense because she's not that much older than Alyssa, but I don't know, just something like that would make sense for her being so strange around her. But like, even when Vera has her powers taken away, she's still a bitch to Alyssa. And I get Alyssa's gone psycho, kind of, well, maybe not psycho, but kind of, she's kind of sided with the enemy sort of thing. She's still just, it just seems so weird the way Vera behaves. I'm like, I'm just so frustrated. It could be so good, but they keep on making terrible mistakes in the writing wise. I feel like, I just hope Alyssa isn't dead, and then we get like some other love story with Jack and some other person. It's all just, ugh. No, I don't want that at all. Don't want that at all. And I also don't want Alyssa coming back as a zombie or something, because that would just be even worse. Oh my god. They just have a simple job. Make a cohesive plot. And just seems people are incapable of doing that. Anyway, let's hope Alyssa isn't dead for my sanity. Yeah. Thank you for watching. This made no sense probably, but yep, thank you. Goodbye.